right, how are you? This is Harmonic snack number 14. Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys like a super great hack for dominant chords that's really going to come in handy, okay? So, look, we're going to mess around with an A7 chord today. We're going to play a little bit of an A blues too. But look, here's A7. Look at the 4th and 3rd string. That's the flat 7. Remember the root's here. That's the flat 7. This is the 3rd of the chord. If we put our 3rd finger here, it becomes an A13 chord. That's the 13. Okay? That's a nice sound in itself. If you put your pinky on the top here, that becomes the 9th. Now it's still a 13, dominant 13 chord, but you got the 9th on the top. Fancy chord. You know, like anytime you need a fancy dominant chord that's not altered sounding, this is a good one. That's useful in itself. But remember, we want to be looking at the top here, not so much the bottom. Bass player takes care of the bottom for you. You don't really have to worry about the bottom. Bass player can deal with it. The top is better for the guitar players to mess with. Now, but you have to find it by the root. So there's the A root, right, on the 5th fret, and that's where it's going to start. Flat 7, 3rd, 13, 9th. Now watch this. This is where the trick is. So if we take that A note here and we think about it on the 12th fret, it would be right there, right? Move that whole chord right here. 1 fret below where that root is. See that? That's the A. And this will be a fret below on the 4th string. Now we got this. I'm going to play the open A here, okay? Now that's a nice fancy sounding altered dominant chord right there. And it's the same, it looks the exact same, right? Right, so what we're going to do here, let's look at this chord first. This will be the 3rd now. This will be the flat 7. This will be a sharp 9. And this will be a sharp 5. So this is an A7, sharp 5, sharp 9 chord. Okay. Now, when we play, just keep that in mind. I have to change the subject here just for a brief second. When we play a blues, if just using the straight normal chords, it goes like this: a jazz blues. Right? So what happens is we call it, in jazz, we'll usually call this a 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, right? You know, these are more like secondary dominant chords, but I mean, let's not worry about that too much. Let's just refer to it in the simplest way, and that's what it is: 1, 6, 2, 5. And that shows up in what the 7th bar would be this, 8th bar, 9th bar, 10th bar, and then it just 2 per measure. But look what I'm going to do here. If we go like this, look, remember it's going to be A7, E7, B7, and then E7, right? And that brings us back to the top, right? Sort of like a turnaround sounding thing. So look. If we think of this for the A7, here's the 5th string F sharp bass note. Look at that. Now that's going to be F sharp, sharp 5, sharp 9. F sharp 7, sharp 5, sharp 9. We move the shape down a half step, and now it's B13. And now move it down a half step, and it's E sharp 5, sharp 9. Back to the A7. So this is like a great, so it's almost like a horn section. I bet if 4 horn players played it, it would be like a big band. jazzy sounding, right? So I made a little track here, and let's just like jam along with that. Just do it along with me, okay? Here we go. Oh, let's do it this way. First, I'm just going to play the thirds, okay? The sevenths and the thirds, right? And then let's add the second note string, the note on the second string, okay? And then let's add both the notes, right? All the way to the first string. Just for the fun of it, okay? All right, so that was pretty cool. Okay, so next, what I'm going to do is let's put this to use in sort of a regular blues. I'm going to use a little bit of the elements from both the jazz blues and the normal blues, okay? So let's look at the chord progression right over here. I think I can stick it up there. All right, so this is what we're going to do. For the A7 chord, we're just going to play A7, D9, A7 with the 9th and the 13th. And then right before it goes to the 4 chord, we're going to move that 8-13 all the way up here. And it gives the altered sound, which is going to push us right to that 4 chord, the D7. And look at this. If I move it down a half step, then it's D13. What kind of magic is that? Woo, that's fancy. And then I'm going to do that 1-6-2-5 thing here. Now for the last 2 bars, I'm just going to do something like even really simple, like in a normal blues. I'm just going to play A7. And then for the 5 chord, instead of going like this, play the E. There's the E, right? I'm going to play that sharp 5, sharp 9 here. So let's just go through it kind of slow here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is a great sound, and you can use these tricks in any kind of plain old blues to make it sound fancy, right? And I forgot to mention, you can also, when you're playing a solo, you can just add these in, right? It's great if you're playing like in a trio or you're playing your solo when you add these little hits in, like a little horn section, right? So you're going to be the guitar chord, you're going to be the soloist, the chord player, and the horn section all at one time kind of thing. Let's just do it. I'm going to go through it sort of simple, and I'm going to add as we go, all right? So that way, it sort of builds the momentum of the whole thing, all right? So here we go. Okay, so try it out. You know, these are a few great choices that you can spice up your blues a little bit with. All right, so if you need the PDF, you go get it, and the backing tracks will be there too if you want to play along. All right, so have a nice day. I'll see you on the next one.